There it is, 2000. A milestone moment for a Pittsburgh icon.
Malkin dusts it off. Right in front. Another chance. Backhand score! It's Brian Rust with the goal. Rarefied air to Hall of Fame career. 1,200 points for Evgeny Malkin.
2nd and 9. Pickett lines up a deep ball. Separation. Touchdown. George Pickens.
Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio. 5100 West Library Avenue. Yes, that's the municipal building. You know the details. Thank you for watching another show on Comcast 21. Trying to get that right, Nick. Only in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and all the way out there from Cranberry, Wexford, and Nemacolin in the greater Pittsburgh area. We appreciate all of you. We've been doing Facebook Live how long? A couple years now?
It's about a little over 2.5 years.
2.5
June
years.
of 21.
And we've been doing that on Pittsburgh Sportsline channel for
about a year and 2 months.
Okay, so the baby one needs some help. We need you to subscribe. 166 subscribers on Pittsburgh Channel Sportsline. I try to keep updated with it all because Nick only watched 800 plus shows, and those are our shows plus a few others that weren't on the record, so probably about 830 shows.
God bless you, Nicholas. I couldn't do it.
I just wanted to shout out.
There's actually like 950 that are uploaded right now.
Well, do you understand? He had to watch all those hours.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And then he did something unusual that Smokin' Jim went to school for at PCTV. He edited, I would say, every show.
Yeah, not every show because we.
Well, see, he's a humble guy.
Quality came up eventually, but for all the shows that were still in standard definition, yes, I remastered them so they looked more
so would
shiny.
you hit the mute button every time I opened my mouth?
No, not every time. He told me not every time, Chip. I asked. But we did get all that done. So we appreciate you on Facebook Live. Matter of fact, Chuck Chief McElroy's watching, Michael Mariano, Paul Haley are watching, Ralph Williams is watching.
My man.
Ralph Williams, you stole my co-host, but he said hello, guys, so keep doing it. He's happy. Janice Sikowski-Ravetta's watching, and anybody else that'll be tuning in. And then I hear a lot of people, Nick, maybe you know it better than I, but they don't sign in on Facebook. They go on Facebook and they just watch it.
I think you have to have an account to be on Facebook.
Well, they're on Facebook.
Right. Well, then,
but I'm
there you
running
go.
into people all around the area like, Smokin' Jim Sweeties. They're watching the Facebook Live and even YouTube.
They're not clicking
They're
on
not
it.
clicking that they're watching.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's stalking, if it's whatever it is, but there's people watching it because I run into people and they go, hey, I love your show. That's great. You're live streaming. And I'm like, I know who they are. And I don't see them popping up.
That's how you creep on somebody.
Yeah, that's what it is. All right, well, Paul Haley's not creeping. Good evening, guys, in the Sports Line and BPTV. And Ralph, you're welcome. He said thank you. Al, Teresa Mariano's watching. Thank you. We just need to know how Johnny's doing and how young Michael's doing. We heard they might be under the weather, and Johnny got to see a doctor. So prayers to all of them.
Too much fun at the Springs yesterday.
Yes, too much. Yeah, so we're going to do some. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. We got two involved in this. We do a conversational, we do facts, and then we never let the facts get in the way of our opinions. And you'll find that out later on. I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. Smokin' Jim Frazier. He got a $2 hat, a $10 jacket, and his outfit didn't cost over $18.
And I got my goldfish in here.
He finally, Paul Coffey's watching, thank you. Chip Painter does every other week. He's back, and you can tell it might be a little hint. This is a tease for later on what he might say. Just look at his hat. Then we got Nick VIP Callis. Won't talk about him working at the Fan. I gave him his first announcing job on TV.
Did he just get out of prison?
No.
Oh no, that's just orange. Okay.
And that's
just
the Bethel
orange.
Park colors.
Okay, it looked like.
Yeah.
I thought maybe
You know what? We gotta go. We gotta go right to. We added 2 more promos that Nick did. You know, he has a good voice. He went to college, had a great teacher, Lanny Fratteri, and I had a couple promos I wanted to do on Coliseum Combat Zone, my new event. And I go, Nick, can you do this? He goes, it's your event, don't you want to? I go, you got the voice and the schooling.
Yes, he
I'm an
do.
amateur.
Yes, he do.
So, and he's doing the other bingo
And
thing.
he's a rising star.
No, he's a star already.
See what I mean?
And he's got onwards and upwards.
You haven't said that in a while, have you, Smoking?
What's that?
Pittsburgh's fastest rising star.
That's it. That's it.
All right. We're going to those promos right now, and we'll see you back in about 6-7 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Just watch those promos. Thank you very much.
Alan Levine, the Talking Machine, presents Coliseum Combat Zone Pro and Amateur Fights at the All-American Fieldhouse in Monroeville on Saturday, June 29th. Contact Al Levine if you'd like to participate in these fights or if you'd like to receive spectator tickets. A donation to the National Kidney Foundation will be made at all Coliseum Combat Zone events.
Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Strikers. I worked there for 36 years. My former union, CWA PPMWS 14842, Pittsburgh Local Mailers Union number 22, is on strike. Even though health care benefits were secured for workers by the union, Post-Gazette management cut them out without the union's approval and still expected workers to show up without any coverage. Please cancel your Post-Gazette subscriptions online or in print. Pittsburgh Sportsline supports the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Union Strikers. Frank Fanera, owner of Olive Oil's Pizzeria and the Hillcrest Shopping Center on Route 88. Call them at 412-831-1900. Every Tuesday night, Olive Oil's Pizzeria provides the host and the amazing volunteer crew with an XL pepperoni pizza and a full steak hoagie. They are delicious. Olive Oils is proud to support Pittsburgh Sportsline and the volunteers at BPTV. Stay Joey strong. Joey Fabus died at 8 years old of brain cancer known as DIPG. Since then, the family has come together with community members to create the Joey Fabus Childhood Cancer Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit. Since being founded, they've raised over $100,000. Go to jfccf.org to learn more about DIPG, to help spread awareness, and to see how else you can support and donate towards the fight against this dreaded brain cancer. Always Be Smiling, a 501c3 designed to help children and families in need of kidney transplants. The B stands for Bennett, whose memory is embedded in this organization by his parents, Kristen and Dean. Despite the challenges he faced in his 16 and a half years of life, Bennett always had a smile on his face and spread kindness to everyone he could. Now, Always Be Smiling wants to pass on that kindness. Go to alwaysbesmiling.org to learn more and see how you can support or donate to this organization.
The Pittsburgh Police present Biscuits Bingo on Saturday, April 6th at Salvador's Event Center. Doors open at 10 a.m. The $60 ticket includes a pasta buffet that opens at 11:30, then 16 regular games and 4 special bingo games, which all begin at 12:30. Bring a pet food item to donate and qualify to play a special bingo game. Use the link below to purchase tickets. Proceeds benefit all these pet-focused organizations.
The Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. I'm Al Levine, trustee on the board of this great organization. The BPCF focuses on raising money to provide scholarships, grants, endowments, and more. Grant requests are available online from $100 to $5,000. You can also attend fundraisers or donate. Go to bpcf.org to get more information and to stay up to date on upcoming events. The Bethel Park Community Foundation, focusing community resources, building for the future. The Bethel Park Historical Society is a 501c3 that serves Bethel Park. The Historical Society operates out of the Schoolhouse Arts and History Center, located at 2600 South Park Road. Look for the red and white trolley right out front. Reginald's Coffee is inside, and I've heard it's the best coffee around. To visit this great historical venue, email historicalsocietybp@gmail.com. Alex Reed is in need of a kidney. 2 weeks after college graduation, Alex's kidneys failed. A gracious donor gave Alex 7 years of life, but now he needs another kidney. To learn more about becoming a donor for Alex, call 830-285-2140 or go to kidneysolutions.org. Zhang Taekwondo just opened a new location in the South Hills, along with its location in Wexford and its inclusion in the curriculum of Provident Charter School in Troy Hill. Zhang uses Taekwondo to teach its students confidence and self-discipline through physical fitness. Zhang is offering a 4-week special. You get a uniform and lessons for $30. If you mention the Talking Machine, Smokin' Jim, or VIP Nick, they'll give you a further discount. For more information, go to zhangtkd.com or call 724-934-9264. All right, I hope you enjoyed the new promo, especially that one Coliseum Combat Zone, June 29th. You know what to do. Get some tickets, go to the website. George Malerbo, been working, know him for about 50 years from the Post-Gazette. Ann Harder, hi everyone, love your shirt, Al. This is my Miami Dolphin shirt, even though it says Pittsburgh Sportsline. People, even Smoking Jimmy goes, are you for the Dolphins? I go, 1972, baby. Nick Rohde's watching. I know your son's on, but where's Peggy at, Nick? That's our biggest fans up in Rochester, New York. Daniel Stepanovich is watching, and Aaron Carl is watching. So thank you guys for watching. We do what's the start of our show. What's on your mind, Smoking Jim Frazier?
Thanks, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. And if you want the green,
I got it.
You got to see Levine. And the fastest rising star in Pittsburgh, the VIP of BPTV, Nick Callan, is in the house. And I tell you what, by chance, we got a good-looking guys in the back, Marco and Chance, making us look good on the ones and twos.
Ooh, speaking of that,
He's hanging me out here to
I have
dry.
a surprise. Go ahead. Look at that.
Look at him in
Wow, that's what's up. That's what's up.
there. There's thumbs up, guys.
No
Way to
love for your
go.
brother.
And when you want to hit a double, when you need a double, you go with my man, Chip Hayner. Happy anniversary, brother.
Thank
I
you.
was saving the best for last. But hey, you know, Al Levine, the Talking Machine in God's country.
Where? West Virginia.
Yeah, free lunch at Bouchette been coming to the Planet Fitness. You know what I mean?
Which one?
In God's country in Monroeville.
Okay, thank
And
you.
this morning, I was there making sure nobody was using my massage chair. So as I was leaving, this guy comes in with a hoodie all the way up, a gray hoodie, and he speaks to me. It's Ab Bouchette. I said, I don't talk to thugs. In my opinion, all hoodies ought to be banned. Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Don't you agree?
Get a close up on what I
Now,
got.
let me ask you a question, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Hoodie.
Turn the camera on here, Marco. Look, black hoodie.
I thought he was going to carjack my Chevy. Hey, Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Hey, let me ask you guys a quick question. The question is, how can Eloquippa, a month ago I interviewed the Eloquippa coach. I don't think he wants to interview with me again. How do you lose the few years ago? You lose to Clareton, A school, but now you're favored to win 5A without recruiting, even though you just got 2 guys from Central Catholic.
Yeah, and 4 players.
Yeah, I think they ought to move to 6A after Gateway beat them half to death.
I got to do a disclaimer.
I don't like Eloquip.
Smoking Jim is jealous because they're out recruiting Gateway.
That is
they
true.
lost a couple
That is
games or
true.
more last year, and they recruit better than anybody for 40 years.
But real quick, I'm going to tell you what the Pittsburgh Steelers need in their draft. It'll be a bust of a draft, I told you before, if they don't get my cornerback. Cooper DeJean, 6'1", 210 pounds. He won the Tatum and Woodson Award as the best defensive back in the country. He won the Rogers Dwight Special Listed Award, the best punt returner, best kickoff returner,
What
first
school does he
team
go to?
All-American. Huh?
What school do you go to?
He went to Black and Gold School, Iowa, and for the first time in 20 years, a white cornerback comes to the NFL. We need him. The chemistry is important. Here in the second round, and I'll finish with this. In the second round, we got to go back to Georgia. Ladd McConkey, slot wide receiver, deep wide receiver, 6 foot, 185 pounds, 2-time national champ. Never been out of Georgia. Went to high school there. Run some of the best routes I've seen since Fred Biletnikoff. He lays out for passes like John Jefferson and Lynn Swann. I tell you what, this is a guy. Johnson is in the last year of his contract. Get him out of here after next year. He steps right in and outstanding. Run some of the best routes I've seen since Fred Biletnikoff. That's your first round and second round choices.
I listened to you. You said he's never been out of Georgia.
Never been out of Georgia.
So I think Atlanta Falcons
Peanut
know
farmer.
that. Atlanta Falcons know that. Jimmy Carter,
Yeah.
our president peanut
Yes,
farmer.
sir.
You got it. Well, good luck on that. Little side note, Smoking Jim supposedly is an NFL scout, Steelers scout. So this isn't betting. And Chip and I had to discuss when Smoking Jim says the bet the opposite. And he's living proof of the Super Bowl. And with that, what's on your mind, Chip Hayner? Sorry I had to bring you in early.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's great to be back, everybody. I'm absolutely in heaven right now. Baseball season has started. First day of full squad practice today. Very much looking forward to watch the progress of this young team and to see how they navigate the 6-month baseball season, 162 games. A lot of things to look forward to and more to come on that.
Chip, I got to interrupt. Chief has a question since you brought Pirates up first.
Okay.
I said, watch the hat. So Chief goes, what does Chipper think about signing Trevor Bauer for the league minimum?
It would be the
Which
biggest
would be
mistake.
$740,000.
It would be the biggest mistake the Pirates ever made.
You
and
heard
I'll tell
it
you
here
the reason
first.
why.
Ever.
He has
1887. This is how far back we're
the
going.
biggest mistake
76,
they could ever possibly make. In the first place, if you looked at his statistics from last year, he was so bad in the Japanese league that they moved him down to their minor leagues. That's how badly he pitched last year. So I don't see where he's going to get what he's going to do against better competition. Number two, he's got multiple accusations of sexual impropriety from multiple sources. And from what I also understand, and I've never met the guy and I've never played with him, this is just, things that I've read from different various sources, is that he's an awful teammate. And you know what? You don't need that on a young team that you're working on trying to build something with. I would not waste my time on Trevor Bauer. I'd let him go rot wherever he is.
Chief,
he
you
wants
brought
to
it
rot.
up. Look at what he fired out with all that ammo.
So that's just my humble opinion. But getting back, some really interesting things happened over the course of this weekend, and there's been some very interesting conversations over the last couple of days on talk radio. And the Pittsburgh Penguins made a big deal about retiring Jaromir Jagr's jersey. Okay. And I'm not a big fan of Jaromir Jagr. And my personal opinion, and this is only my opinion, I don't think he should have retired his jersey. Jaromir Jagr was a good player when he was here, but when it came time for him to take over the mantle from Mario, he failed miserably and pointed the fingers at everybody and everything other than himself, the media, the coaches, his teammates, and he left Pittsburgh on not the best terms. But you know what? His jersey's hanging in the rafters. He's retired, and he certainly isn't the reason why the Penguins won Stanley Cups in 91 and 92. If memory serves you correctly, all those championships were on the back of Mario Lemieux and Mario Lemieux only. Besides
He did
that,
pass to him, though.
besides that, Jagr was not the most kind person to the public in general. Let me just put it that way. I don't need to get into any specifics, but I had personal interactions with him, and there's a 4-letter word I can use to describe him. He was a jerk, okay? But
Whoa.
that's what I can say on the air. The other stories, they'll remain off the air because they're nobody's business. Nobody's business, and that being said, so that brought up some other conversations as to what former Pittsburgh athlete should be the next athlete to have their jersey retired.
Aaron Donald.
He's not necessarily
Pitt.
Well, yeah, he played at Pitt, but he's made his career in professional football for the Los Angeles Rams. And I'm sitting here thinking of various people that would warrant having their jerseys retired. And there was a conversation brought up about Barry Bonds, maybe that the Pirates should retire his jersey. And I completely disagree with that myself. I think if you want to hang your hat on anything that Barry Bonds did while he's here in Pittsburgh, what I will always hang my hat on is the reason that the best team in baseball in 1992 didn't go to the World Series was because of Barry Bonds.
Only his arm.
Well,
It was only his arm.
no, I mean, and once again, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and if people want to disagree with me, that's fine.
Haven't you said yourself that one play doesn't define a whole game?
In this game, it did because it ended the game 7, and in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Ding, ding.
In this case, it did. But that being
It
said,
started the legend of Sid Bream.
that being said, then there's mentions of who should be the next Steeler that has his jersey
You
retired.
kept us in suspense. Lay it on us.
Well,
Ralph
you think
Williams-
about this.
Wait, Ralph Williams says Antonio Brown.
Next.
All right, Chip, drum roll.
Okay, but which of the Steelers of the '70s, who should be the next one to have their jersey retired? And I sit there and I look back at the team of the '70s, and it's like, wow, I lived through that time. I watched that team, and there were so many Hall of Fame players.
Oh yeah.
So like, if you retire one, then you have to retire them all. And I think that Joe Green was a special person.
Yeah.
His jersey deserved to be retired. He was the cornerstone of the
That's the reason I like the Steelers. From
he
the
was
Packers.
he was the
Love those
cornerstone
Packers.
of the team of the decade. And Franco Harris, I mean, look what Franco Harris did not only on the football field but off the football field in the
especially
local
off.
community. To me
May he rest in
what,
peace.
what you do off the field, I think, should have some way. So like you think about it. You look at the defense. You've got Mel Blount, you've got Jack Ham, you've got Jack Lambert. I mean, which one of them don't you retire? If you're going to retire one of them, you got to retire them all. Next thing you know, you don't have enough numbers for the players on the team that you have.
Yeah.
Because
Ann Harder said Joe Green.
well, and Joe Green is deserving. There's no
We
question of
salute
a
you.
doubt. Yes. So I'm looking at that and I'm saying, I don't know who you would retire next from the Steelers. So I'd
don't
leave
know?
that up in the air. What's that?
You don't know?
Yeah.
There's only one number to be retired, and it's an easy thing to pick if you're going by the 70s. If you're going
Okay,
more
talk to
currently,
me.
it's Big Ben. But if you're going by the 70s, you got to go who was the defensive captain of that team, and that was Jack Lambert.
Okay.
You got to retire his number.
Okay.
If Joe Green's number is retired, you got to retire Jack Lambert's number.
But I was thinking on a
stop
different
right
note.
there at
On a
that.
different note, if you want to think of retiring Pirates numbers, okay, I can think of 2 players that were responsible. One of them played on 2 championship teams. One of them played on 1 championship team, pitched 2 complete games in the 1971 World Series. One would be Steve Blass.
Yeah.
60 years with the organization as a player and a broadcaster.
And he's
The oth-
still alive.
And the other one is Manny Sanguillen.
Yeah.
Manny Sanguillen was a phenomenal catcher for the Pirates, but those are a couple of people that I would consider. And then the only
What about Willie Stargell?
well, Willie's already retired. Yeah.
No, but
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
got 6 players retired.
oh, okay.
Jerseys.
Yeah.
Yeah, Willie Stargell and Roberto Clemente are retired. And then I look over at the Penguins to wrap this all up with a nice little bow, and I think that Sid and Gino should probably get their jerseys, and I would go one step further and say Marc-Andre Fleury
Yes!
should get his jersey
Yes!
hung in the rafters because, they don't win that Stanley Cup in 2009 without him.
Oh, yeah.
And
How about Brasso?
what's that?
How about Brasso?
He's not liked by
No.
anybody. Even
I
his teammates.
am not a Barrasso fan at all.
Even his teammates, when they put him in the Hall of Fame, he actually was nice for once. But
Yeah, none of
everybody
them
was-
showed up.
Yeah. that was my point. Thanks, Chip. Oh, Chief said, great analysis, Chipper. Happy anniversary.
Thank you, Chief.
And Ralph Williams is being silly. He said, Bubby Brister. we like to have a little humor.
Ralph, let me tell you something, and be in all honesty, I can tell you some stories about Bubby Brister that I am not ever going to put on the air. I've seen some things with him, and we'll just
Tell
leave it
me
at
off
that.
the air. I'll put it on.
I'll tell you about one when we
All
wrap
right.
the show up tonight.
Chip, thank you for that. Ann Harder, she said Nick is the GOAT. Peggy Rohde said, hi, Al, enjoying the show with everyone watching from Rochester, New York. Thank you, Peggy. We appreciate you.
Who said I'm the GOAT?
No, not you, her husband. Oh. No, her.
Wow.
She's the grandmother.
Yeah.
And they're, not
Yeah.
they know each other. They're friends.
Darn.
You're not the
Yeah,
GOAT yet.
yeah.
Not yet.
You're still the GOAT.
And Chief said duck. No, we can't.
Oh,
no other team.
I
won
thought
it.
I was getting ready to go like this, like.
Alligators watching. Paul Haley said, Smokin' Jim, Stickum made Fred Biletnikoff the receiver he was.
Yeah.
It even stuck to his jerseys.
Yeah.
And he got an award. But no, we understand that.
Can I interrupt for 1
Yes.
second? Oh, by the way. What about that team to the west of Monroeville that beat them in basketball playoffs the other night?
Penn Hills. All right, we got Tony Santucci's watching. Thanks for watching. We got to go to Nick VIP Callis. What's on your mind after all of that nonsense?
Yeah, well, not gonna bludgeon Smoking Jim anymore. We'll talk about some other stuff. So
Very nice.
I got a few things going back and forth. First of all, my aunt delivered a nice present this past week to my grandfather when she was cleaning out some of the house when he moved out, because now he's in an apartment. And a little envelope. There was a politician's, one of those cards that you used to get when politicians come out. I guess they still give them out.
Yeah.
But on the back there was some scribbles, and it took me a minute. And it was signed on the back by Richie Hebner. So I guess one of them got a
Gravedigger.
And then after that, put out another card, and it was Willie Stargell with a signed Stargell on there, and it was original. It was with a little pink pen. So
Wow.
Nice.
I guess I'm in touch with Chip now because I have things from the 70s.
There you
Yay.
go. Good for you.
I salute you.
So no, that was pretty cool though. It's
Ding,
nice to-
ding, the bell's off.
It's nice to have those little things on. That was really cool. So shout out to my aunt for that.
What a great aunt you have, VIP.
Indeed. Also, the NBA play All-Star
Oh, you
weekend.
stole my thunder.
Yeah, sorry. Terrible.
I've never watched it.
So it seems that baseball's
Where do I go?
done something the best here, and that would be the All-Star game and glorified batting practice that many of us refer to as the home run derby, which is still pretty cool.
I love it.
I mean, the NHL All-Star game, I gave some problems, or identified some problems because they did it on Super Bowl week, which is just silly, obviously, because the Super Bowl is a Super Bowl. And then you have the NBA All-Star game where they're just taking half-court shots, and Doncic missed a dunk in open space, which is just like, what are we doing? Like, why? So None of that made sense, and it wasn't very fun. And I wanted to watch Impractical Jokers on True TV, but I couldn't because NBA All-Star Weekend was on all those nights over the weekend. So just a really dumb thing. And I didn't even watch the game, but I'm looking at highlights circulate on social media now, and I'm just like, what are we doing? Baseball still got some value because like they talk to the players on the field, which is like kind of fun. And they have enough players to rotate in where you feel like they're not going to get hurt, and it's still kind of, it's fun, and they're giving an effort. At least it looks like they're not just like flailing a bat, which is fine. But like just the lack of effort you see in the Pro Bowl games, and to a lesser extent the NHL All-Star Game, and then the NBA one. It's like, why? Like, what are we doing? So I'm not a huge fan of that. Al's doing the cha-ching thing. Money does everything. That's fine. It makes everything go around. I guess it. Okay, if there was a reason, Al's right. There's money. In terms of entertainment value, what are we doing? There's no entertainment value. I guess it just sells stuff.
And I don't know, unless they give tickets away, how do they fill that arena? Because I wouldn't pay a dime to watch that crap.
Hey, Nick, on your point, I wanted to bring up something.
Sure.
Don't commissioners run the league?
Yes.
Wouldn't you say they have to be pretty smart and help the owners out?
I guess.
Well, that's why they're in there. NFL, Major
Speaking
League.
of commissioners, Manfred's leaving at the end of the decade.
Okay.
Yes, I know.
Well, that's good. But I'm getting to Adam Silver.
Sure.
He's been trying to do everything the players want. They
Right.
even get $100,000 to win, $25,000 to lose. And I'll get on my thing about it, because coming from a basketball family for over 50 years, I'll talk about that. But the commissioners have some say.
Sure.
So why don't they, since they're acquiescing to the players, how about come with an idea that would have fans interact, or something that would be exciting for a younger generation with interaction with players?
But it's like
Like a tug of war or dodgeball?
Yeah, that would be next. Or kickball. I'd like to see a kickball game. I used to love that.
But like, I mean, do the players like it because of those incentives? Do they like it because it's actually like a cool event? Like, they're not trying. Like, there's no effort. Like, it just doesn't seem like there's much of a point from that standpoint. It's like, we're as fans watching this, and like, we watch sports. I talked about this before already. We watch sports because there are people that can do things that we cannot do as average people. And so, like, I could do what they're doing on the court. I could miss a dunk. I could like
miss
flop,
a pass,
right? Like, I could not make shots. I could get lucky and make a half-court shot if I wanted to. I mean, like,
I don't
with
even know
no
why
coverage.
they play, because once they get voted on the team, they get the clause in their contract that gives them the bonus money.
Millions.
How much do they get for making the All-Star team?
100,000.
No, they make a lot more than that.
If they
They've
win.
got it written into
in
their
their
contract.
up to $3 million. I
Right.
heard some of
So
them
they
make.
got they get voted onto
From
the
1
team.
to 3 million.
Okay,
they
so
make
money
that.
is the reason why the players want to do it. Maybe the league.
That's what I said.
The league. Well, no, I agree with you.
Thank you.
And the association may like it because they make money. For fans, though, I don't quite understand the lore of the game, and I'll just keep saying that because it was just watching the highlights.
Well,
It's
here
just
I have
abysmal,
something
so.
that would help you.
Go ahead.
All right, get the all-star players there and have them play champion world-class athletes from other countries that are in the Olympics and whatever. Have them compete against them for a game, because you get to see the best in the world, and we're the best in the world.
The problem being
But I'm
is that
just
they're
saying.
not going to, and the teams that they're under contract to are not going to let them go out there and put it on the line in a meaningless exhibition game when they've got a whole rest of the season that they're trying to.
But
So you think the injury thing is a serious thing?
Well, that's one of them.
Well, yeah, I think I
good, because
absolutely.
I've heard people say, like, oh, why are they, they were afraid
Well,
of
yeah,
getting
I mean,
injured. Yeah, that's a legitimate thing.
That is legitimate. That's
when you
real.
give an effort, you could get hurt. That's just sports.
Look at that guy on the Super Bowl. He jogged onto the field and
No,
tore
he
his
stepped.
Achilles.
He stepped into her. That was from a crouch and stepped. Imagine blowing out your Achilles doing that.
I don't want to imagine that in any
Okay,
circumstance.
don't
It feels like
imagine
you're
that. But
That's
imagine,
what's on my mind, though.
Imagine the pain.
All-Star games stink.
I agree.
All
That's
right.
what's on my mind. Okay.
Thank you, Nick. Very good stuff. I agree. There's a name, Caitlin Clark. I started watching her last year. One of the best basketball athletes I've watched. My dad was my dad was a great referee of sports, played basketball. My uncle was on the first pre-NBA team, the Pittsburgh Raiders, in 1945. So I have a basketball family. I played baseball and football because who wants them critiquing it? But I have a love for basketball. I'd watch, the games, and seeing her play and just the skill that she has for a 6-foot woman, and I say woman because men and women shouldn't compete, but she's throwing up. Once she gets past half court,
Yes, sir.
she can toss 3-point points in like it's nothing.
Yes, sir.
She may challenge my hero Pete Maravich
Yeah.
on scoring, just what she's doing. She set a record like over 3,500 points, broke the women's record at Iowa. And then what's crazy is with NIL, why should she go to the WNBA and maybe make $500,000 or $750,000? She can make up to $4 million staying another year.
Yes, sir.
So when I go money, I found out in my life, no offense to you, Nick, you're learning at 25. My whole life, I always wondered, why are there problems? Why doesn't it make sense? Because we all look at things from our perspective, right? We're fans. We love the sport. I love watching pro sports because I was an amateur and a kid. They're playing child games, making millions. And I'm thinking, wow, I dreamed that I could play, and, I made it, up to certain levels and whatever. But look what they do and look what they get paid because it's the e-business, entertainment. So that's what throws it all out of whack, and that's why I always go like this. Because why do you have billionaires that own the teams? Why can't we do in Green Bay? Let's start an NBA team and put money together and see what we could do.
Good point.
But they don't even say that. So to me, I haven't watched Pro Bowls and All-Star games or whatever for at least half my life. 20-some years ago, I quit watching it, and they had some competitive games at times. But then about 10, 15 years ago, I saw a drop-off in all the sports because of money and injuries. And why should I even do it? They got the recognition, but why play a game? And they've tried these different things. We used to kid about playing flag football in the NFL, and they're doing it. That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my life. These are multi-million-dollar players showing they can play flag football. Well, so can we. Let's put a team in against them. You want to have some fans? Pick it from the crowd and then go against them, 5-on-5s or something. And pro basketball, I was wondering when they'd crack 200 points. 211 to 186.
Really?
You almost had 400 points scored. I remember when teams didn't score 400 points in a dozen games.
Yeah.
And look what you had in the NBA All-Star game.
Wow.
Yeah, see, that's not impressive, though, because we know that's silly.
No, I'm saying how outrageous it is. I'm
Right.
not impressed by it.
Right, well, yeah.
And then they showed the last quarter, because I saw some of the ESPN putting stuff up. Pro basketball players were walking, standing around when somebody's dribbling a ball.
Wow.
Then missing passes and shots. And you want them to perform in a game like that?
Wow.
No, that's insulting to me being a fan wanting to see a game. There's no competition there. NHL, same thing. It's just a shooting gallery. I feel bad for each goalie. I say just have an electronic board that goes out of the way and stops it. Have a fake goaltender.
I like that.
Because that's what it would be. I mean, I
Put a
look at it.
4x8 piece of plywood in front
Yeah,
of the net.
and then baseball, look at the All-Star game meant something when whoever won would be the home team, and then they changed that.
Well, that was ridiculous.
No, when
So
they first put it in.
on a
but
good
when-
day, that was ridiculous.
Yeah, but when they took
the
it
thing
off, I'm
when
thinking.
a baseball game is still no different than any other major league game. You've got to get 27 outs. You go up there, you get 3 strikes.
No, I understand the logic. I'm a purist on it. But when you put it in that you had a win, so somebody would at least try illegally or legally to win the game, then they were the home team. I thought it was so outrageous. Then they took it off, and they go, why do we play the game? So the mentality changed on what's right and wrong, Chip.
Yep,
And
it sure
it's all
has.
upside down. Sorry to go on a rant, but I just had to because it hits me right here. I love sports. Look, I got an award-winning sports show,
Yes, sir.
so we can talk honestly with you. And this is a smoke-free zone, and you know what I mean. We're not blowing any smoke. So I'm done here. At least I'm not. Oh, you are? Okay, he is blowing
No,
smoke.
I got one question.
Okay.
What school does Caitlin Clark
Iowa.
play for?
Iowa.
That's where my white cornerback is. Must be something in the water. I guarantee you, if the Steelers draft him, he's going to the Hall of Fame.
Okay. You heard it here.
You
He
heard-
said the same thing when DJ Watt was drafted. So.
Thank you, brother.
He's right about 1 out of 1,000. Don't bet on it.
Yeah,
How'd
but
I do
don't,
with
but don't
Jarvis
worry.
Too Slow Jones?
He'll never forget reminding you when he's right.
I know. Once.
How'd I do with Jarvis Too Slow Jones
You call
and Devin
that?
Bush?
That's twice out of 3,000 draft picks.
Artie Burns.
Artie Burns.
All
is
right, that's
another
4.
bust.
We're going to Fiction and Fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac in 10 seconds.
Al Levine, the talking machine, and I need a double high diddle diddle, chip up the middle. Little Black History Month now.
Hold it. Disclaimer. He's a black man that only talks about black history in the first week or two of February. Okay, go ahead.
Al Levine, the talking machine. Back when I was in college, she was a girl that came
What year
from
was that?
Chambersburg. She went to high school with Sid Bream, you know, the one that got the curse on the Pirates.
No.
32
He's a
year
minister
curse.
in North Pitt.
But maybe he'll lift it. But Al Levine, the
It is
talking
lifted.
machine, absolutely beautiful black girl. And I was lucky enough that was my
This is a sports show.
That was my college sweetheart, right? Al Levine,
What
the
was her
talking
name?
machine. We called her Charlie. Al Levine, the
What did
talking
you call
machine.
her?
Every summer,
Peaches.
Every summer she would come to my parents' house and spend a month at my parents' house. You know, I never made it to Chambersburg. But Al Levine, absolutely beautiful. Had natural long hair all the way down to her butt, right? Al Levine, the talking
Okay.
machine. So anywho, she ended up being the first black homecoming queen of my college history. And I
Cal U.
And I was the first black team.
What year is it?
I was the first black team captain, well, 3-year captain, first
Okay.
of that too. But anywho, Al Levine, the talking machine. Al Levine, the talking machine, after she left college, she went to Pitt to get her PhD. And she worked her way through as a model. She wasn't a supermodel, but she was one step below, right?
Okay.
Charina Schaefer. So
We
she
got
would-
her name, folks. Research that.
So she would go to these exotic islands, private islands where celebrities would attend. And she would call me and say, Sinbad's down here or this or that. And I knew all the girls that she hung out with. So one year she calls me, she says, hey, guess who's here? Mr. So-and-so is here, right? So I'm like, okay, wow. So the next time, and I'm half listening on the phone. I just can't wait till she get back home. She was actually my best friend too. She called me, she said, yeah, me and Lynn did this, me and Lynn did that, right? And I'm thinking, Al Levine, the talking machine, I know all the models. I'm like, who's Lynn? Oh, Lynn Swan. Lynn Swan ended up marrying her. That was my last phone call. I lost to a Hall of Famer. So that number I don't want retired, Al Levine, the talking machine. So so
88.
my college sweetheart
88.
left me.
88. 88.
And at the time, I had a good job. I had a cap on my head and a broom in my hand. Al Levine, the talking machine. She gonna leave all of that.
Far be it from Jim to toot his own horn, but toot.
But
Okay,
hey,
Jim.
Charina Schaefer ended up marrying Lynn Swan. They had 2 boys, and
Well, we
lived
got some.
happily
We got
ever
some
after.
people watching. Joan Wildman's watching. Dave Cable's watching. Ty Polk's watching. Cheryl Tassione's watching. Anthony Tricano's watching. Diane Mariano Rohde's watching. Hey, could we show Diane what her son's doing?
Good, Marco.
Marco, where's the camera on you?
He said something, Bob.
Marco and Chance in the house.
And-
We're in that Gateway black and gold.
And how about Chance slipped in the front door by way of the back door, and he's in the control room. Nobody's been on a show quicker than a first-time visitor than Chance.
Chance loves hoagies.
You hold the.
Somebody
you hold,
loves some hoagies.
We'll see Marco with their band hoagies coming up March 2nd.
I want to buy some.
See, Marco, buy those hoagies. Diane, I'm hustling them for you guys. And Michael's here. Get the money up front off them. That's $16 for two.
I might have to do an IOU.
No, you can't. You got to pay.
I think I only got $2 on me.
All right, give them that down.
All right.
All right, we're hustling that. You got to see them. All right, we got to go to trivia time with Chip Hayner.
All right, welcome back, everybody. And as I said, I'm a happy guy. It's baseball season, and what I want to pay recognition to today, it's somebody's birthday. Pirate great, probably the greatest reliever that ever pitched for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 95 years old today. Wow. The Baron of the Bullpen, Elroy Face. Happy birthday to Mr. Elroy Face.
I remember growing up with him.
Just to give you an idea of who Elroy Face is.
Tell Smoking Jim.
During his 16-year Major League Baseball career, he pitched primarily for the Pirates. A pioneer of modern relief pitching, he was the architect of what became known as the closer. And the National League's greatest reliever until the late 60s, setting numerous league records during his career. Face was the first major leaguer to save 20 games in a season, more than once, leading the league 3 times, finishing second 3 times. In 1959, he set the still-standing major league record for winning percentage with a minimum of 13 decisions.
And why'd they pick 13?
In single season wins in relief with 18 wins against 1 loss.
Right. Wow.
He held the National League record for career games pitched from 1967 to 1986, and the league record for career saves of 193 from 1962 to 1982. He still holds the National League record for career wins in relief with 96. He held the league mark for career innings pitched in relief, 1,211, until 1983. On his retirement, Face ranked 3rd in Major League history in pitching appearances, only behind Hoyt Wilhelm and Cy Young.
Not Cy Young.
And second in saves behind Wilhelm. He holds the Pirates franchise records for career games, 802, and saves.
Hey, Chip, you won't believe this record that Ann Harder just said. She goes, Elroy Face made a 45 RPM record. I bought it. She bought his record.
Nice. Wow. That is absolutely awesome.
Way to add to the show.
His major league statistics for his career, 104 and 95 wins and losses. His earned ERA for his career was 3.48, 877 strikeouts, 193 saves. Wow. So, happy birthday, Elroy. God bless you. 95 years young.
He's still living.
That's what he said. Jim, it's his 95th birthday.
95th birthday.
He didn't say in heaven.
And he was elected into the Pirates Hall of Fame last year.
I know.
He should have gone in the year before with Dick Groat, but that's another story.
He's going in this year?
Don't know.
Oh, okay. That'd be nice while he's still alive, you know?
Oh, he's in. He's in.
No, he got in last year.
He got in last year. He was not part of the year. I don't believe he was part of the initial 20.
No, he wasn't.
No, the 19. Don't shortchange 20. It was not an even number that went in.
Okay,
That's what I asked.
Okay, I stand corrected. Thank you, Nicholas.
I remember I asked, why do you come up with 19? Just like I asked
They should have come up with 21 if for nothing else because of Roberto, yes.
Well, glad we could cover that. Great trivia time. Let's go to Nick VIP Callis in 10 seconds.
All right, sports opinion. Okay, the Pirates are doing right now with some of their handling of players has got me a bit concerned. Chip and I were talking before the show about Chip being more optimistic this season, so that's great. I'm going to continue to look at like reality and stats when it comes to this kind of stuff, and numbers and tangible evidence. So the Pirates drafted Henry Davis first overall, right? And he was a catcher, and they knew that. And right, like first overall, we understand the gravity of why that's important, right? So Henry Davis, who's a catcher, develops through the system, goes through Double-A, and he's catching, and that's what you'd expect. Then all of a sudden, they decide to change him to right field, and it's like, okay, well, cool. Now he's going to learn how to play right field for whatever reason. So he's going to stay in Double-A a little bit longer. Then he's going to play right field in Triple-A. And then we'll bring him up to the majors, and he's not going to catch. He's going to play right field because that's where we've been developing him. That's cool. Now, I'm cool with all that, right? Some of you might have been a little more concerned. I was actually a little bit like, what are we doing? But, like, you know, okay, we're doing it, so we're going to do it. And that's fine. And so now Endy Rodriguez gets hurt, and now there's rumors that Henry Davis is going to go back to AAA, and he's going to catch to start the 2024 season, which makes us all should make us all go, what are we doing? That's the theme of what I'm talking about today. What are we doing? And that's a bigger one, though, because you developed him as a right fielder in the hardest of the minor league systems, teams, leagues, and levels, and now he's made it, and you're going to send him back to let him play a position that he was drafted at after you moved him to the outfield, and then you're going to sign Yasmani Grandal and have him paired with Jason DeLay and solidify them as the definite starting catchers on the roster for the 2024 season, while letting go of Gary Sanchez, who I don't personally like, but apparently a lot of people that do stats thought that he did better because he hit like 19 home runs in 76 games, so good for him and whatever that's worth. But Yasmani Grandal was not so exciting to me because, you know, he's older and he doesn't play for the Dodgers anymore. He's gone through another team since, and he's not good. So I guess just I'm disappointed in that, and if he doesn't start the season in the majors, I'm going to be disappointed because it wouldn't make much sense to like anybody to develop him at a different position from where he was drafted, have him play there in the majors, and then all of a sudden, because of an injury, I mean, if you're going to move him to catcher without like signing a guy like Grandal, like, okay, I'm fine with that, but they're not doing that. They're now going to send him back and develop him with the position he was drafted at. It doesn't make sense, and I'm frustrated. And so I just asked the Pirates, what's going on? So,
may I make a couple of observations? That
what if I say no?
I'm going to do it anyhow. Okay, but
That's why we have Sportsline here.
But you know, when you the questions that you're asking are very valid questions. Okay, but there are some things that factor into the questions that you're asking that go beyond looking at the statistics. Because see, we cannot judge everything based on the statistics.
You're right.
Follow me. Henry Davis was the number one draft pick, and he was drafted as a catcher. He spent very little or almost no time catching in the minor leagues because he was consistently injured. And what happened was Endy Rodriguez was getting all the reps at the catcher, and he progressed faster than Henry Davis did and was, at that point, more major league ready than Henry Davis was. They wanted Henry Davis's bat in the lineup. So there were the only other option, instead of having two rookie catchers on the roster, one who was still developing and performing well, and one that was a big question mark because he hadn't caught enough games in the minors to get people feeling comfortable enough with him that he would be able to handle it in the majors. But they wanted his bat in the lineup, so let's put him into right field. So that all being said, now Endy Rodriguez is fast forward to today. Endy Rodriguez will not play this season.
He's now hurting with injury.
Yep, yes. So he is not going to play this year. Right now, I don't think it has been determined who is going to be on the opening day roster for the Pirates as catchers. I want to see what happens over the next 6 weeks with Henry Davis, because everybody that's commenting about whether or not Henry Davis can catch or not, none of us have watched him catch. Do we know if he can do it? Okay, so all we're trusting is
No one's seen him catch?
Rumors.
Well, in college, maybe.
How many games have you watched him catch?
Not
One
full
last
game.
year?
No, I've seen some game footage.
Okay, so you basically, how many games have you sat and watched him catch?
You know what, Chip? 1.5.
Okay.
If you want me to be honest
All right,
with you.
there you
One
go.
and a half.
There you go. Now,
Okay?
now
When he was on the
Ding,
curve
ding.
I
before
do
he
not
went to the
think
outfield,
that is.
I watched 1.5 games.
I
Ding,
think
ding.
that's not like watching Kenny Pickett play for 25 games and determining he can't play quarterback. Okay, so that, you know,
Ding, ding.
So before I get myself all up in a wad about what the Pirates are going to do opening day, I'm going to see what the roster looks like on opening day, and I'm going to watch what happens over the next 6 weeks.
All right, Nick, ding, ding.
I know a little more from the inside, and I've seen him catch, and he was drafted 1 overall.
Right, but how many
All right,
first
we're gonna
round draft
move
picks
on
haven't made
'cause
it?
We're down to the 3-minute warning.
How many of the Pirates draft picks have made it in the last 10 years?
All right, that'll be next week. We'll cover that, or in 2 weeks when Chip comes back so he can work on the stats.
Let me check the Tampa Bay Rays roster.
Oh.
Precisely.
All right, let's go to On Location in 10 seconds. Thank you. On Location, March 15th, mark your calendars. Get tickets at the Priory Hotel for the Donnybrook fights. They should have seats available. I heard they sell out pretty fast, so just wanted to give you a notification. Smoking Jim and I and Nick were asked to come back from the Ireland Institute in Pittsburgh. Robert Tierney and Rich Donnelly, we salute you. We had fun last year. Smoking Jim, I forget what illness or injury or where he was at in the hospital or whatever else, but he'll be there this year. Knock on wood in Pittsburgh. We'll get through this thickhead. But yeah, we'll be there, and we're looking forward to that. We never know what other kind of boxing. We already promoted Coliseum Combat Zone. My first MMA event all set up, June 29th, All-American Fieldhouse. I don't know, I got to report this. Monroeville Convention Center, they sold out the Hobby Lobby to rent half of the place. There's 74 events that got canceled. So now All-American Fieldhouse is a quarter-mile away. We want to do a couple events there, so we may have to wait in line because they offered their facilities and somebody else offered facilities. There was a Phoenix Theater out on Lincoln Highway. They bought that place, but they only have 27,000 square feet. All-American Fieldhouse, where we are, we have 10,000 square feet, but they have a 100,000 square foot facility that Smoking Jim and I saw with our team, and Nick too. So we've seen that. So there'll be a little stuff there, but there's plenty of parking where we're at, especially the convention center's closed. So we're looking for 1,000 or 1,500 people. We'll have a link for tickets up in the next month. So stay tuned for that. And I just wanted to bring up with our Penguins, we forgot to talk about them. Last year they didn't make the playoffs, and I don't think they can make the playoffs this year.
To speak on
Go
that,
ahead. I
I
figured
think
I'd
they
give you
should
a
do
segue.
nothing at the trade deadline because there's no way they should give up any future assets to not make the playoffs this year. They're not going to make the playoffs
Don't trade
this year.
Gensel. All right, we're winding down. Eric Lindsay's watching. Charlene Thomas is watching. Jane Leffler's watching. Jane said, great program. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for getting a view on the TV show Chance with Marco. Nick put the camera back there. It looked great. So please stay Joey strong.